People always say, be careful who you help. But no one ever tells you what it feels like when kindness becomes the knife. My name is Marsha Brown, and this is not a story I planned to tell. It's a story that forced itself out of silence. A story about love, betrayal, and the girl I welcomed into my home. The girl who didn't just betray me, but slowly took my life apart. This happened in Kingston, Jamaica, in a quiet neighborhood where everyone knows your name, your business, and eventually your pain. A place where gossip moves faster than taxes, and warnings are disguised as just so you know. When I had my baby boy Eli, my world changed overnight. He was barely a year old, soft, fragile, completely dependent on me. His fingers wrapped around mine like promises I didn't yet understand. My husband Daniel and I have been married for 10 years. 10 years of building. 10 years of struggling. 10 years of forgiving things we never spoke about out loud. We were not perfect, but we were solid, or so I believed. Between sleepless nights, work, breastfeeding, and trying to be a good wife and mother, I was running on empty. Some days I forgot what rest felt like. Some nights I cried silently in the bathroom so the baby wouldn't hear. That's when Kaisha came into my life. Kaisha was known in the area. When she walked past, conversations dropped. Eyes followed her. Women sucked their teeth. Men stared too long. They said she stole. They said she drank too much. They said she smoked, fought, and had been in and out of lockup more times than anyone could count. One neighbor pulled me aside and whispered, "Marsha, be careful with that one." Another said, "She trouble. Don't bring trouble in your house." But when Kaisha stood in front of me, barefoot and thin, she didn't look dangerous. She looked broken. Her voice shook when she spoke. She said she had nowhere to go, that everyone had given up on her, that she wanted to change. She begged for any work. She said she loved children. She said she just needed one chance. I looked at my baby. I looked at her tired eyes, and I made a decision that would haunt me. I hired her as our house girl, but more than that, I treated her like family. I fed her from my kitchen. I gave her clothes I once loved. I defended her when neighbors warned me again and again. I called her my little sister. She cried the first night she slept in my house. I remember placing a blanket over her shoulders. I remember telling her, "You're safe here." At first, everything seemed fine. Kaisha helped with the baby. She laughed loudly, filled the house with noise, asked endless questions. She followed me everywhere, into the kitchen, the bedroom, even the bathroom door sometimes. Daniel was polite to her. Too polite. He offered to drive her places, asked if she'd eaten, smiled at her jokes the way he used to smile at mine. I ignored the feeling twisting in my stomach. I told myself I was tired. I told myself I was imagining things. Then things began to change. Daniel became distant. He guarded his phone like it held his soul. He smiled at messages he never shared with me. When I entered the room, conversations stopped. When I spoke, he barely heard me. At night, he turned his back to me. When I asked what was wrong, he said he was tired. Work stress. Life. I believed him because trusting your husband feels easier than facing the truth. But a woman knows. And I knew. One night, while Daniel slept, his phone buzzed. The sound felt loud in the darkness. My heart started racing before I even touched it. I don't know what pushed me to pick it up. Maybe instinct. Maybe weeks of quiet suffering looking for a name. What I saw shattered me. Messages between him and Kaisha. Not innocent. Not friendly. They spoke like lovers. Like people who had already crossed lines and were eager to cross more. There were hotel names. Times. My hands shook as I scrolled. Then I saw the photos. Almost naked pictures. Videos I wish I could erase from my mind. my husband and the girl who slept under my roof, filming each other, laughing, unashamed. While I rocked my baby to sleep, they were undressing each other. While I prayed for my marriage, they were booking hotel rooms. What hurt the most wasn't just the cheating. It was who he cheated with, the girl I saved, the girl I protected, the girl I trusted around my child. She knew my struggles. She listened when I cried. She hugged me and called me big sister. And all the while, she was sharing a bed with my husband. They met in hotels across Kingston, places where no one knew them. Places with clean sheets and no history. I didn't scream. I didn't confront them. I went quiet. Now, my house feels different. The walls feel heavy. The air feels thick. Even the baby's laughter sounds distant. Daniel still sleeps beside me like an innocent man. Kaisha still walks through my home, avoiding my eyes, pretending nothing has happened. Sometimes our hands brush in the kitchen. Sometimes she flinches. Sometimes she smirks. And me? I carry the truth alone. Every laugh sounds fake. Every meal tastes bitter. Every night feels like I am lying between two strangers who share a secret meant to destroy me. Sometimes I watch them from a distance and wonder, who thinks they've won? Who thinks I'm weak? Who is waiting for the other to make the next move? Because this story is not over. Not yet. I open my door out of love. But love doesn't always leave the way it enters. Some betrayals don't end with tears. They wait. They grow. And when they finally surface, everything changes. Watch out for part 2. Because the truth has not finished speaking.